How you doing? This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh, and this is a quickie version of Trump Talk. Donald Trump did a 100-minute interview with NBC News, and he won't tell all his foreign policy ideas, except he'd bomb the crap out of the oil fields that ISIS is getting revenue from. And he's right about that, and he was right. We should have gotten oil from Iraq instead of having to telling us to give us the finger. Like countries always do, we rescue them. They always tell us, screw us, except Germany and France and Belgium. For the most part, they've given their money back that they owed us, although even our allies at times are not friendly to us. Everybody that America helps eventually tells America to go get screwed. And Trump is saying the truth. We need to start looking at who our friends are and who our enemies are, and decide which ones we help, which ones we don't. And another thing, Stephen Ratner, former head of Obama's auto group, said that we get 9% of our oil from Saudi Arabia. Well, he's wrong. I looked it up. We get 13% of oil in Saudi Arabia, oil from Mexico, oil from Venezuela, but the number one guy we're getting oil from is not anywhere in the Middle East, which surprised the hell out of me. We get it. 87% of our imports are from Canada. So thank you, Canadians, for bringing us your oil that we need. Of course, we're exporting oil, so I don't know why the hell we're importing oil. If we're supposedly exporting oil faster than we can bring it out of the ground. But, you know, they always give Trump a bunch of crap. And the man's not a politician. He's a businessman, Pally. And he's going to talk like a businessman. And that's his worldview, business. So I like Trump because he says his mind. And I know people on Bellgab, they don't like the Trump videos. Well, I'm a political junkie as well as a news junkie. And I find the whole thing with Trump fascinating. I saw a thing where Ted Cruz bought the pictures from Melania that were posted, and then he said, I didn't have anything to do with it when a PAC posted disparaging pictures of her in the nude or semi-nude from Gentleman's Quarterly. Ted Cruz is a phony. He's a phonier than a $3 bill, and I wouldn't trust him. He's a great constitutionalist, supporter of the Constitution, the First Amendment, and all that other stuff. So, I don't believe him for a minute. You can't know what a PAC's doing and then say, I didn't have anything to do with it. If you know what they're doing, then you got something to do with it. He's a bald-faced liar. If he didn't know what they were doing, then he should repudiate the PAC and tell them, hey, knock it off, stop putting ads out where you're attacking another candidate's wife, because that's not what you do when you're a Republican. And Trump shouldn't be attacking Ted Cruz's wife either, except she did work for Goldman Sachs. And to me, all them high investment bankers are the personification of evil because they've almost brought down the world economy. They all should have gone to jail, working all the way down from the top to the bottom guy in the mailroom. Maybe not that guy, but you know, they all got away with murder. They screwed the American people. They screwed the people in China. They screwed the people in Hong Kong to where they were committing suicide. And let's not forget all those bankers that have committed suicide or died under mysterious circumstances because they knew too much. And all those scientists, environmentalists, and epidemic guys, they've all died mysteriously because they all know too much. The power elite makes sure they're taken out before they can do anything to stop viruses and diseases or create free energy. And if you think I'm talking conspiratorial talk, I am. I firmly believe it. I've heard it on Coast. I've read it on the internet. I think that the people that want to come up with energy for all for free, the minute they announce they're reaching a breakthrough, they get hit by a bus. Their house gets burgled and they get stabbed to death, like one guy did. Nori talked about him. The guy was mysteriously killed. Have they ever found the murderer? No. So, draw your own conclusions. I've drawn mine. They take them out before they can, what's the phrase I want to use? Before they can stop the money flow. That's all about money. Money is power in this world. You have money, you have power. You have no money, you have no power. I got no money, but I got the power to communicate. So I got my food money. And by the way, never eat the spicy chicken soup at the food kitchen. I did that, and it attacked me all day. It's still attacking me. It was very good, but whatever they put in there just about killed me. All right. I will be back with another video. I am not awake, and as you can clearly see behind me, I am not done cleaning. I come home from Starbucks because I can only use one device in here, and I have not gotten the money yet from my friend to pay my full internet bill. And one thing that's frustrating me without a car, there's a UFO conference with Travis Walton and Stephen Bassett in Sonoma this weekend. I don't know if I can get there or not. And if I can get there, I don't know how the hell I would get home. I could take the bus up there. That's a long trip to try to get from Sonoma. From here to Sonoma and then up there, and then maybe someone could give me a ride. But I wouldn't know where the hell it is. I'll have to see if I can do that on the 2nd. That'd be cool to meet Travis Walton and Stephen Bassett. I've never even seen them. They got 2 films there, by the way, at this Sonoma conference, and I'll do a video of that talking about that. MUFON sent me an email, and sometime in the next 60 days I will join MUFON, and MUFON Marin is sending emails about their events, so that'd be really cool. This is why I already miss our car. I can't go to events that I would like to get because I can't get there, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the Bay Area. And finally, yesterday, a bit of weirdness at the Starbucks. They had, during the night, they had the interior glass of their front door. Now, the front door is metal, I think, but it's got 2 panes of glass. And during the night, with no one in there, alarms on, the interior glass shattered. Now, I made a joke about there was poltergeist, and the clerk there says, well, you know, we do have a ghost in here. And the buildings in downtown Martinez are really old, some of them like 100 years old or more. So maybe they do have a ghost in there. I'm going to have to investigate that. It'd be really interesting. And also here in downtown Martinez, there are haunted houses. There's one formerly owned by an early postmaster. And it's not that far from Starbucks, but I haven't figured out exactly where it is. And I know the owner has been interviewed, and his wife. They're very big into the paranormal. And it's something I'm going to try to do in the next 30 days, is go over there after I get some... I'm wearing sweats all the time because it's too cold when I get done at Starbucks to wear shorts. And I'm going to have to get some new clothes to go to the event in San Mateo. And I'm going to go over there one day, and maybe on a Saturday morning, and walk over there and knock on the door, excuse me, and see if I can interview them and maybe get a guided tour of their house. The worst they can say is no. And if they say no, then I just will do a video of the outside of the house and give you a little history on it. So that's on my list of things to do. I wasn't going to do that when we had a car, but we probably won't have a car now for a year. Takes us that long to save up the money. Kathy went out with Patty the other day, and they went to this junkyard, and the guy was giving her a bunch of BS about, because we're a business, we don't have to have the cars smogged first. And I said, it's in the law. You sell a car in this state, it's got to be smoggable when you sell it, or you can't sell it. And so the guy's bald-faced liar, and I told both Patty and Kathy that. One thing that amazed me about this iPad, by the way, and I want to thank Area 51 Drone for that, is I can now call somebody on the iPad. I couldn't pay my internet service because they cut my phone off. Well, no, not because they cut my phone off, sorry. Couldn't pay my internet service, I didn't pay the bill. Well, they cut my phone off too, but now I can call anybody in the world for free in Google Hangouts, which is incredible. You know, if you'd told me this when I was 20 years old or 15, that one day I could call someone in Saskatchewan or Washington or Pittsburgh, I was waiting for the little wrist phone from Dick Tracy, which we still don't have. I guess maybe the Android devices or Microsoft have a wrist phone you can, 6 to it even over and out like they did in the cartoons or in the comic strip. But I was waiting for that to be on my wrist. And I figure in 50 or 100 years, we'll all have that implanted into our hands. Of course, that will probably be called the mark of the beast by the fundamentalist. But I'm not worried about the mark of the beast. I'll be dead by then. I'll be the mark of the dust. All right. I'll be back later in another video. I'm debating whether to go back to sleep or get up and do some cleaning. As you can see, it's still cluttered in here because I spent months in bed with my bad back. I really got to clean this dump up. Oh yeah, one last thing. The numbskulls on the General Musings of Falky thread on Bellgab are having a hissy fit again. I have a new forum on there, Falkenberg's Fortress. It's invitation only. And right now they can't see it. And I love it. I love it. Because I know their spies are telling them exactly what I do in there. And I by mistake, edited some posts by putting pictures or commentary in because I couldn't see the reply button at the bottom of the iPad. Because on the screen it doesn't, excuse me, show up. There was no malicious intent. And then I had to put 2 rules in about photoshopping photographs because one poster put a photograph that looked like it was me photoshopped my head onto a body. And they do that all the time on that thread and elsewhere on the internet. Kathy too. And I'm tired of seeing that. I'm not going to have that in my thread. And I'm the moderator and I control it. And the person who did that got very upset about it. And we've discussed that back and forth. And they say, well, I'm a dictator with delusions of grandeur. I didn't know I was James Tiberius Kirk. And that I'm going to ban everybody, which is really stupid because I went to a lot of trouble once little Chris, and I thank him for this, suggested the forum in the first place to MV, the owner of the board. And MV was kind enough and trusting enough to make me the moderator. Why the hell would I ban the people I've worked really hard to invite into my forum? These are either my friends or people who have been friendly to me or people who are just have a happy disposition and they don't post mean-spirited and angry and nasty posts and nasty photographs and nasty Photoshop videos. Because they're happy people. Mean-spirited and evil people post this kind of stuff to make somebody else feel like crap. And I don't want that in my forum. I want it to be a happy place. The equivalent for Bellgab of Disneyland, where everybody's happy and nothing ever goes wrong. And by the way, there's a Disneyland fact I found out recently. Did you know they feed a couple 100 stray kitties there, which is very nice, because there are mice and rats in the Happy Kingdom. And they keep the rat population down. Now, I guess with all the people there and all the food and the popcorn and whatever else, cotton candy, rats show up. But I never thought there'd be rats. I read that on the web recently. I never thought there'd be rats in Disneyland. Amazing. I know they have whole complexes of rides that don't work anymore. And I take that back. They work. They were shut down, abandoned, never to be used again, which is really weird. You'd think they would use them. I guess they're waiting to put new rides in. But people have posted videos, and they're fascinating, of the former, they sneak in there, and Disney with security will throw your ass out if they catch you. But they show the former rides with boats sitting there, and, water with algae in it, or little train cars on tracks or cars or whatever, and it's really interesting. I love to watch abandoned archaeology stuff on YouTube. Old breweries and factories and things that we abandoned, and Of course, a lot of these were built in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. They're full of asbestos, which is probably why they've never been torn down. My old high school in Pittsburgh, Shenley, it's a big fortress. It sits like this on top of a hill, 6 or 8 stories, and they shut the school down, but they're not using it for anything. It's just sitting there, and it may rot one day. It's made out of brick, may collapse in its own volition. But why they've never torn it down, built something else, I have no idea. I'll have to call the school district and ask them about that. Okay, I'm out. Have a great day, and I will do another video in a bit. Sorry this went on so long, but I haven't done one in a couple days, and I'm very glad you all liked the one about, excuse me, the blue light lady, and I'll do something on that along those lines real soon, as soon as I do a little more research. Okay, I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.